This is how to estimate the mean from a grouped frequency table. This slide is a summary of the method and just a recap of grouped frequency tables. So I will go through the information in this, but if you just want a summary, this is the slide to go to. Okay, let's have a look at a worked example. Here is some information about the number of houses sold by 20 salespeople. So we've got 4 columns, 2 of which are blank. If you see a group frequency question in an assessment, it could be in this format or it could just be 2 columns. If it's 2 columns, you've got to interpret what method to use, what is it. So something like this could be a normal frequency table, which does change the method in which to work out the mean. Clues that is a group frequency table are in this first column. So we've got a group. So number of houses sold, group is from 1 to 5. So in those numbers, there's 7 numbers which occur. So if it was a list of numbers, it would be the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now in this list of numbers, and there's 20 numbers, there are 5 occurrences of either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is just a way to make the data more readable, easier to work with. The rest of the question is work out an estimate for the mean number of houses. So again, a massive clue. There's a group frequencies table is estimate, and that is because we're only ever going to be able to work out an estimate because our column can include lots of different numbers. It's just the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it doesn't tell us exactly what numbers they are. It could be 2 7 times, or it could be a combination of all of them. So we can't be sure because we've grouped those numbers together. So that's why it's only ever going to be an estimate. And that makes it a good question for you to work out because they've got to put the word estimate in it. Okay, let's start working out the methods. So the first step is to create what is called a midpoint, and this is because we don't know the precise nature of the decimal of the numbers. We need something to work with, and we do this by creating a midpoint. This will be in this column here, so the heading would be midpoint. To work out the midpoint, you add the first and last numbers of each group. So in this case is 1 and 5. So 1 plus 5, and then you divide by how many numbers they are. So 1 plus 5 divided by 2 equals 3. So I've done that for each number as we go down. So 3, 8, 13, 18. Second point is to create another column. To create it if it isn't there in the question, or to fill it out if it is a blank column. This time we use the midpoint and we times it by the frequency. So for this first row, 3 times 7, 3 times 7 equals 21. And again, we go down figuring all these figures. So then the numbers that we really need in these columns are 3, 8, 13, 18, 21, 48, 65, 36. I've just put those other numbers to show how we have got those numbers. What we then need to do is to add up all these numbers here, 21, 48, 65, 36, and we've done that, and that is 170. 170. Then we add up the frequency. We don't add up the numbers in the midpoint. So we've got 170 and we've got 20. They're the figures we need to be able to work out the mean. So the mean, 170 divided by 20, mean is total number. So we total these numbers divided by how many there are. How many there are, another word for frequency, 20. 70 divided by 20 is 8.5. So it shouldn't be two decimal places there. That's been put there by mistake. What I've done is to show a misconception, what could happen. So in this case, easy to do, we've added up the total of the midpoints rather than the frequency, which means the mean is divided by 170 divided by 42, which leads to quite a complicated number, which gives us a little bit of a clue that it might be wrong, but it leads us to a total different number of houses, total different answer, and that's by doing quite a easy mistake, a misconception. So it's something to watch out for, something to check for, especially if the number is a little bit strange. Because the number's strange doesn't mean it's wrong, but it does give a clue because this is a functional test.